Assalamu alaikum. I am Muhammad Ashkut. Welcome to Hamdoon Soft Fun. Here I just use this ASP.NET MVC application as a multi-tenant application with single database per tenant. I have divided this tutorial in two parts, technical steps and coding steps. The technical steps are going here and the coding steps are going in below sides here. This is the coding steps you need to do. First, for technical step, follow the steps I have selecting this. You can find the written version of this tutorial in my blog or under this YouTube video. Coding steps, you just need to download the code from my GitHub site, and I have okay. Now let's start. First we will do First we will go to in our system32 folder in Windows folder and just edit host file by Sublime Text. We have opened the Sublime Text in administrator mode. Here I am opening the host file. See that the host files are started in host file. The lines are started with hash. That means it is a commented line. If you want to write a active line, you just need to replace the host before the line. Here see that I am replacing. I have write some tenant name tenant1.hamdoonsoft.com, tenant2.hamdoonsoft.com, etc. I am just removing the hash symbol. Now it is a active line. My IIS server can hold this, can achieve this tenant info. Okay, fine. Okay, then you just need to turn IIS features, IIS server from Windows features on or off. For starting this tutorial, I am guessing that you are acquainted with IIS server and hosting a site in IIS server, hosting ASP.NET MVC site in IIS server. Okay, fine. I am running inet manager from my run and seeing that if IIS is running or not from IIS. Okay, from administrative tools, I am saying that IIS manager is running. You can see this also from here. Internet information service. Okay, then you need to. I am showing that again from where you can see we can open IIS. IIS from a site. First I created a site named Hamdoon Soft. I am refreshing this and from advanced settings I am seeing the physical path. I'm going to physical path where I have put the physical published file from Visual Studio. Here is the published file. Okay, previously I set up this. Now you need to set up bindings in your IIS. We'll do this now. Let's see. The bindings are the same name as the tenant name added in host file. Okay, one thing you have to remember that you have opened the Sublime Text or Notepad in administrative mode. Must. Okay, here I have opened bindings from the right side of the IIS server. window. I have added the tenant name. You can see that here with port 81 and 80. Okay. I am going slowly so that you can catch the tutorial well. Okay. I have just visiting this site and visiting hamdoonsoft.com. Access to hamdoonsoft.com was denied. Oh, you don't have authorized to view this page. HTTP. I have make some authorized error. I'm solving this. First, I advanced settings in the publish folder. Oh, I didn't put the published code here. From Visual Studio, I have to publish code from here to here, the DLL file of the project. Now I am opening Visual Studio in my, okay. Okay, now opening Visual Studio, I am opening the project which was downloaded from my GitHub repository. You can find the code in my GitHub repository, github.com/ashikcsc20 ASP.NET MVC multi-tenant project repository. Okay, I have opened the code. Now I see the code. First, I want to see the extra code I have done in route config. Firstly, I am now publishing this code. Publish folder at desktop test folder. At desktop test folder, publish folder. It is the physical path of my Hamdoon Soft site which was opened in IIS server. Publish. Click publish. Okay. The project is being published in published folder. Okay, now the published folder is come with a bunch of code of my multi-tenant project. Now I first want to show you that how the tenant are working. Then I will show how each tenant have occupy a single database. First time I am now browsing hamdoonsoft.com. Oh, I have to say that it is only coming from bindings. I don't have buy any domain like hamdoonsoft.com. It is only coming from my bindings, hamdoonsoft.com. Now we will visit another site. I am going slowly so that you can catch. Previously, this tutorial was silent tutorial. I am making this sound tutorial by seeing the video, so I am going slowly. I am some second of behind of this tutorial. Again, please see this tutorial with patiently. You can at the last time you will find a complete project of ASP.NET MVC multi-tenant project. I've restarted the project. Okay. Now Hamdoon Soft is accessible from browser. Now copying this address. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Oh, here is the main theme that I tell something sometimes ago, that there is no domain at hamdoonsoft.com on the internet. It is coming from the hosts file and the host alias name and from the bindings information. Okay, now this is my blog. The blog list is the tutorial of this blog link. The blog link of this blog is put it under this tutorial. Okay, I got most help how to make my config route file from this blog. So thanks to this blogger, okay, for giving thank to this blogger, I have just showing his site in my tutorial. Okay, from his site I found the code that I have put in route config. Let's see in what I have done in routeconfig.com. See the code. Okay, just comment the default. I have commented the default route config and added this new code in route config. Okay, and made a class route constant who is inherited iRoute constraint interface. And okay, I have applied here the mass function which returned a boolean value, true or false. Mass function was first is declared in the iRoute constraint. Okay, here you can write your tricks and logic. How you want to manipulate your tenant information. See here, I have a constant variable name, database name. For default in domain or main in domain, I am saving the database name test. You can do it anything or test abc adc. Here in core folder constants.cs file, I have named a public class name constant and added the database name variable. I am showing you this code gradually. It is a static variable. Okay, so I have called the database name folder which is the class name constant.database name. There are some simple tricks of selecting different database for different tenants. So see that, download the code or see the tutorial. Please just download the code from GitHub and you will get the code in the route config file. Okay. This is the test controller. Here I have cached the database name and the tenant name, and according to this is the context model. Actually, I made this context from code first from database. If you know acquainted with code first from database entity framework settings entity data tools, my first task is to, according to tenant information, I make a connection string for dynamic connection string for each tenant and passing this connection string in base model.css, and from base model.css I am calling the context model class constructor with my dynamic connection string. Here server name is desktop, my desktop server name. Here you will have to put your server address or server name, and database name is constant and database names which I was set up from route config database name. Constant on database name, get address from the address it getting the tenant info. I have saving here the constant database name is equal to get address 1.tenant. This will named my database name in server. Okay, now let's see the connection string. Okay, I am passing the connection string to db context. From base model passing the connection string to context model. From context model I am passing it to its base class. Now in, okay, passing it to base class. From base, passing the connection string to db context. As it was a silent tutorial first time, so I am showing this thing again and again. Okay, now I have created object of base model in test controller. And in test controller, I am fetching data from table test on. Table test on will coming from that database which was configured from, which was said in constant and database name in route config file. You just need to understand the get address dot length is 3 less than 3. It's just to understand the get address dot length. You can compile and debug the get address dot length to see its basics details information. Here I am writing the comments, more details about this code. You can just found all these comments and code in my GitHub repository. Okay. Now I am saying this, the for tenant one Hamdoon sum dot execution will be enter here, and for default domain will be entered in the upper side. If length is less than 3, if length is greater than 3 or equal to 3, then will come here. I am adding the logic, while the logic will you will find in GitHub repository. Okay, please see this tutorial patiently. Hamdoonsum.com or localhost first time will be entered in the first condition, first if condition. Here I have now see that all code I have put here. You can change this if else condition as you wish. It's your matter, but you just need to understand how the get address is working here. What you write in the browser address bar and what is coming in get address dot length in route config file. Just debug this. Put a debugger. See that's in line 40. I have put a debugger to see this. Before making this tutorial, I have see and observe the get address details, basics details. Now read this comment carefully. Some tricks were applied here. You can change this if condition as you wish. Now I am fetching data from table test1 of the test database when I am hitting hamdoonsub.com. I am connecting to desktop MEF4CK. Okay, desktop MEF4CK. Refresh. There is no data. There is a database with test. I have previously created the database, then make the context model for this database with entity framework in my project. You have to keep in mind that just if you can make that connection string, then you can do it entity framework, dapper or SQL client, anything you want. Here table of I have make Hamdoon soft The site is inaccessible. Maybe stopped. I need to restart or okay, fine. Now go to test on controller, Tenant database. This is the main domain in tenant info action of test on controller. Here see that how I have cached the tenant information. Main tricks is done in route config.css file in base model and context model. One thing you have to keep in mind that after if you delete the database of the test database and you have the context class, and if you hit hamdoonsoft.com, the database will be automatically created from the context in the SQL server. Here if I delete test database and hit hamdoonsoft.com, the database will automatically created from the context model. Like this same database will created for Hamdoonsoft tenant on.hamdoonsoft.com, tenant2.hamdoonsoft.com. See here what I am doing. See table data. If the table was not created, the table will be created from the context model, the database. Taking some time, please wait. See in test table, I'm refreshing. Share that with Hamdoonsoft, a database name is created because in route config I said for localhost test database and for Hamdoonsoft database. There is no data in table. I will just create new data with entity framework, tenant, main tenant, main domain. Okay. Coming, the data is come in the database. Okay, fine. Thus, gradually, I will check main domain test and refreshing the database. The data has come here. I have put insert the database entity framework. You will see this in code. Now, see again, I have put tenant on.hamdoonsoft.com, tenant2.hamdoonsoft.com, tenant3.hamdoonsoft.com. I just browse tenant on.hamdoonsoft.com and visit. After visiting this database will be okay. Click database test for multitenant. Okay, clicking database test for multitenant. Okay, see tenant details. When I'm clicking tenant details, this is in tenant 1. Okay, refreshing. I'm saying that no, I have to hit the entity. Hey, when you hit see table data, then that will hit the entity framework code, and entity framework will hit the database. See, I have come tenant on .hamdoonsoft.com in test on tenant info. See how I have cached the tenant info with route data.values tenant.toString. I have fetched data from table test on. See here the Hamdoon Soft database tenant on. It has come from entity framework. All data has all database code, all database has been built from context model. Now I will enter here. This is the main part of my tutorial actually. You will see tenant on dot test on data inserted in and paste the data, and the data is come in the database. This is the multi-tenant application with single tenant per database. Okay, now we will see table data. Okay, tenant on tenant to test to data. Now we will visit tenant 3 with the port that was defined in bindings. tenant3.hamdoonsoft.com with port 81. Now see database test for data, database test for multi-tenant, see table data or see tenant details. Refreshing that I haven't hit with the tenant 3 information has come with, which was hit with entity framework ORM. The table was created automatically from the context class. There is no data. Now just enter the data for testing. Tenant 3 test on, save this, and we will see this in database. Okay, the data is inserted properly in the database. Now enter tenant 3 test 2. The data is inserted in database. You don't need to do so many things. You just download the code from the GitHub and see this and follow this tutorial and the written tutorial under the video tutorial in YouTube or if in my blog. You can add so many host tenants in the host file. Different tenant, different data. Different data is coming from different database. Okay, now tenant 1, tenant 3. Okay. See this. This is the main attractive part of this tutorial. Is tenant is fetching data from its different database. I'll just restart that site. Okay, fine. This is my written version of my blog. Okay, all that's fine. Thanks everyone to thanks to you especially to seeing this tutorial patiently. After commenting the tenant information, the site can be reached, and after uncommenting it, the site is reached. The site can be reached now. Okay, you must have to open the host file in Sublime Text at administrator mode. Open the Sublime Text or Notepad with administrative node or Notepad++ with administrative nodes. And that's all from now. Thanks everyone. You can edit the data. Okay, save this. See the table data. The data is edited. The edited version is also shown in the list. You can see this in database also. Okay, now I have come to tenant 2. Okay, thanks. Tenant 2 test on. Tenant 2 test 2. And all data is going to tenant Hamdoon sub tenant 2 database. This is the written version of my tutorial in my blog. Is in 8 solutions. Submit my sites.blogspot.com.